This story starts, as I mentioned earlier, in China. In China, there's a bus route numbered 375 that goes from Yuanmingyuan to Fragrant Hills. The distance between these two places isn't much. It's barely 16 kilometers. This bus is similar to any ordinary bus that usually transports people to their homes. However, this particular bus is for late-night workers, and on the midnight of November 14th, 1995, this bus was on its usual route. At one point, the bus noticed some passengers standing and came to a halt. This location was called Summer Palace. 4 individuals were standing there, a couple who seemed to be husband and wife, an elderly woman, and a young man approximately 22 years old. They all boarded the bus. Upon boarding, they saw that there were only 2 people inside, the driver and the conductor. The couple took the seats behind the bus driver. The elderly woman and the young man sat opposite each other. By this time, it was already past 2 a.m., and this was going to be the last trip of the bus for the night, which meant that the bus would head to the depot afterward. However, the fog on the road was so dense that even with the bus lights on, the driver couldn't see anything ahead. Visibility was 0, and the likelihood of an accident was very high. The bus driver suggested taking advice from everyone on whether to continue on this route or take a different one. The conductor, the elderly woman, and the young man all agreed that they should take a different route, since anything could happen in this fog. But the couple sitting behind the bus driver disagreed, insisting that they stick to the current route and drop them off a couple of minutes ahead. This was the final turn of the route. The next turn would take the passengers to their homes. The couple got off at their stop, leaving only 4 people on the bus. It was a dark night, and the road was eerily silent, resembling a forest path. The only sound was the bus engine. Nobody knew each other, so they couldn't talk to one another. They had no choice but to sit by the window and enjoy the cold breeze. The elderly woman was passing her time doing just that. Suddenly, the bus driver hit the brakes abruptly. The young man, shocked, asked why he had stopped in such a desolate place. The driver pointed out that 3 people were standing in the middle of the road, signaling for the bus to stop. The conversation between the driver and the young man continued, and in the meantime, the 3 people boarded the bus. Everyone was shocked to see these 3 people. They wore clothes resembling those from ancient royal times, which were very dirty and looked like they hadn't been washed in years. Another odd thing was that the middle person had both hands resting on the other's shoulders, as if being supported by them. It seemed like the middle person was heavily drunk, and the other 2 were helping him home. However, their clothes were very peculiar. As soon as they boarded, the elderly woman felt very uncomfortable. She told the conductor that something seemed off about these 3 people. The conductor tried to reassure her, suggesting that they might be actors from a nearby theater, but the elderly woman became even more uneasy, questioning why the conductor was trying to console them if they were just actors. If the middle person was drunk, why was his hair covering his entire face? The elderly woman couldn't avoid looking at them constantly, feeling something was wrong. They were nearing Fragrant Hills, and the bus was back on its default route. However, it was late at night, and the bus was filled with silence again. The driver was feeling sleepy and saw a black cat cross the road, which startled him. He hit the brakes, causing the elderly woman to fall onto the young man. She quickly regained her composure and sat back down. After a while, the elderly woman stood up and started shouting that her purse was missing, accusing the young man of stealing it when the driver braked. The young man was shocked and denied the accusation, offering to be searched. The elderly woman slapped him, and the conductor and driver suggested that they should get off the bus and resolve the issue at the nearby police station. While all this was happening, the elderly woman heard the middle person laughing. Both she and the young man got off the bus. The young man, fearing he would be taken to the police station, was puzzled by the elderly woman's calm demeanor. She explained that she had saved his life by creating the drama to get off the bus. Suspecting that the three newcomers were not human, she noticed that the middle person had no face and none of them had feet, indicating they were paranormal entities. She felt they had to escape before becoming their next victims. The young man was emotional and hugged the elderly woman, suggesting they inform the police to save the conductor and driver. They went to the police, but the police did not take them seriously. The next day, when the bus did not arrive at its destination, the police started investigating. They found that the bus had vanished from the CCTV footage beyond the point where the elderly woman and young man got off. It was later found 100 kilometers away in a river with 3 decomposed bodies: the driver, the conductor, and the middle person. The other 2 were missing. The mystery remained unsolved as to how the bodies decomposed so quickly and how the bus traveled so far without petrol, only filled with blood. To this day, none of these questions have been answered.